Welcome to ESPN's College Football Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. From Sanford Stadium, you're watching the SEC on ESPN. Between the venerable hedges, the storied hedges here in Athens. Tonight, it's Vanderbilt taking on number 5, the Georgia Bulldogs. A pivotal game for both these crews for variant reasons. Folks, safe to say that we're all just trying to stay hydrated today. Man and beast alike. Uga 9 made his debut last week for Georgia. Vanderbilt taking on number 5 Georgia. And an interesting backdrop for this contest today. It goes back to a year ago in Nashville. In the dying moments of the game, the Commodores blocking a Bulldog punt, setting up a last gasp effort for the upset victory. Would have been its first in 17 tries, but that pass to Boyd incomplete. And Georgia escaped with the win. But in the wake of the victory, Todd Grantham, the defensive coordinator, and James Franklin of Vanderbilt got into each other's grills. Some words were exchanged, and Franklin says, we're expecting a very warm welcome here in Athens. Of course, Georgia winning the toss, deferring to the second half. Vanderbilt receiving Andre Howe. And he's brought down inside the 20-yard line at about the 15. It'll be first down and 10 for Jordan Rogers, the 6'2", 212-pound redshirt senior quarterback, completing 54% of his passes on the season, 2 touchdowns, just 1 interception. You have to wonder about his mental state after watching all of last week from the sidelines.
He better be hungry for success. I think pulled because Vanderbilt was 0-2, and as much as James Franklin wants to get over the hump, the redshirt senior couldn't do that the first 2 outings. He'll have an opportunity with a marquee national stage tonight.
Zach Stacy, the tailback, beside him. Stacy took one the distance last week on the first play. And we have a flag down on the far side of the field. Looks like that's going to be a procedure penalty.
Before the snap, false start, offense, number 52, 5 yards from the previous spot, first down.
Andrew Bridges, the right tackle, moving a little bit early. 2nd and 11. Little option, high toss, but good hands by Zach Stacy and a powerful run out near the first down marker. Coaches say he came back more of a complete player this year. Got stronger in the weight room and more flags down on the field.
Illegal substitution on the offense. Broke the huddle with 12 players. That penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot. 3rd down.
And another penalty against Vanderbilt here in the early going. And what does it do for the mentality of a team? Not just the defense, but when you see a guy that would have been a high first-round pick come back and play again.
You were in the room yesterday with him. What did you take away? That's a mature young man. He's going to be 23 in October. Sat out a year. Many times you hear players say, hey, I'm blessed. I'm so thankful. I'm fortunate what I have. And not that they're not genuine in their comments, but when the game was taken away from you or nearly taken away from you, as it was for Jarvis at USC with the neck injury, you could tell he appreciates every day. And besides just coming back, the effort and the intensity with which he plays, it embodies this defense. It elevates this defense. And when your best player plays that hard, you're a coach's dream.
3rd and 6. Rogers keeps it and is brought down at the 20-yard line. Short of the first down, picked up a pair. Herrera making the stop on the play, and the Commodores will punt.
And that's unfortunate. A lot of run early, and you take away those 2 procedural penalties, the 10 yards in penalties, you would have moved the chains. You cannot afford 3 and outs tonight. And remember this stat. Vanderbilt, one of the worst in college football on 3rd down, just 26% this season. And you can see, animated head coach knows they've got to move the chains, and especially early.
Richard Kent into punt, standing on his own 6-yard line. Dangerous punt returner back for the Bulldogs, Malcolm Mitchell, number 35, pardon me, at the 35-yard line. And another flag.
False start, offense, number 1.
Boy, the
that penalty
Commodores.
is 5 yards. Still fourth down.
Really disconcerted here on the first series.
Is it the noise? Is it the moment? Is it going on the road in an environment like this? They haven't been this season. Probably all of the above. And afford those mistakes before the ball's even snapped.
Kent on his 1-yard line now. A high spiral, great punt. Drives Mitchell all the way back to the 30. And he finds an alley. Mitchell across midfield into Vanderbilt territory at the 46. A 54-yard punt, but 24 on the return by one of the more dangerous players on the field. Usually a two-way threat, but we're playing only on defense today, or so we're told. Well, Aaron Murray's the starting quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs, completing 64% of his passes, 8 touchdown tosses on the season so far against just 2 interceptions. A former freshman All-American, and he continues to get better. Now a big-time quarterback. Todd Gurley in the backfield, dotting the I. It's Gurley, the freshman. Breaks a couple of tackles, slips outside for a nice gain. Gurley picked up 7. That's below his average of almost 10 per touch. Keeps the legs going and down to the 35-yard line, picks up a first down. A missed tackle on the play by Barnes. Murray with a play fake. Wide open. That's complete to Tavares King. And King brought down just inside the 20. Another Bulldog first down. King, one of the leaders from that wide receiver position. Takes the bubble screen. That's Brown. And Brown makes it down to the 11-yard line. Marlon Brown, one of those 3 receivers already with a 100-yard game this season. Got a good block on the outside from Chris Conley. Murray, a pretty good scrambler, too. He can use his legs a little bit.
And he's a good athlete. He's not going to make a living running and juking people and running through them, as we see in college football, as Braxton Miller did once again for Ohio State. But he's capable. And just, I love the conviction and the urgency and the tempo with which they're playing.
Early again. Touchdown, Georgia.
May I remind you, that's a true freshman. 6'1", 220 pounds. Look at the shoulder pads. Look at the lean. No doubt about that. That forward lean, they got it going on that drive. Vanderbilt must run blitz. They must tackle better at the 2nd and 3rd levels.
Gurley with poise that belies his age. His 5th rushing touchdown of the season, 1/2 of that lightning and thunder combination. 7-0 when we come back to Athens. Quick 3-step drop. And the pass is ruled complete at the 26. Let's go back to Wendy. All right, Wendy, back here, 2nd down and 1. Stacy has the first down and then some. Nice burst. And finally brought down to the 35-yard line. And a first down for Vanderbilt. Last year, Vandy got them on a few trick plays. Direct snap to the tailback, Tate. And Wesley Tate picks up the first down. Let's talk about that a little bit. Last year, little draw play. This is Tate. Nowhere to go. Brought down from behind. Great pursuit by Chase Vassar, who missed the first 2 games of the season. And a loss of 4 on the play. Matthews has been Rogers' most reliable receiver. Rogers takes off with it. And knocked out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. It'll be short of the first down. Marshall was the first of those recruits to commit ahead of Gurley. The 2 of them had always talked about going to school together, and after Marshall committed days later, Gurley did the same. And things have worked out pretty well for the Bulldogs in the wake of Isaiah Crowell's dismissal from the team. 3rd and 4. Murray sacked back at the 25. And the Commodore defense stout on that series. Barber into punt. Flag thrown. They ran into the punter as Matthews makes the catch at the 30. There's a flag down all the way back at the 16 after that 44-yard punt. Let's see what that flag is all about. Matthews loses his helmet. Caleb Azubuike.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. The defense. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Might have been Azubuike there, number 55.
Marshall's the slasher, the higher rated prospect, the number 2 running back, in fact, in the ESPNU's rankings a year ago. Both of them are track kids. That's where originally they became buddies. They're roommates now, but he's got a little bit more of the home run gear where Gurley's just a bit more physical.
Gets another carry off the left side, a gaping hole, and Marshall is going. Touchdown.
That's a dangerous combination. You're talking about Gurley as the workhorse, wear you down, and then you give Marshall just a crease. He'll go north and south and take it the distance. You think that penalty? You think that penalty was a big one on the punt?
Huge. A career-long run in his young, and they blow the snap. It goes through the hands of the holder.
This can be 2 points.
Picks it up. Brought down immediately. Oh, still not whistled at it. Now it finally is, or is it? There's a flag down. What else is new? Back at the 37. We are seeing a lot of linen on the field in this game.
The rule on the field is that the kicker threw an incomplete forward pass. Therefore, the play was dead at the incomplete spot. The extra point is no good.
Okay, Wendy, first down and 10 from the 7. Rodgers on the toss to Stacy, breaks a tackle, and a strong, determined run by Zach Stacy picks up 13 for the first down. And now it's Georgia's defense in the fast lane. Sacked by Jarvis Jones. 4.5 now in the season for him. Coming with a little bit of pressure. And Rodgers wisely throws it away at nobody to throw it to. And it's 4th and long. They'll have to punt from their own end zone. Murray completes it to King. And a first down in Vandy territory at the 45-yard line. He picks up 12. Looking towards his master's degree. And taking the defense to school here. Bennett with the reception. Looks like he got enough for the first down. At about the 22-yard line, they picked up 7 on the play.
When I talk about improved fundamentals, watch this evening his eyes and his feet. Those are the 2 areas he really wanted to grow and focus. The eyes, I think, has come a little bit easier because he sees the game very, very well. But it's the feet getting off of his toes, a better base, a better power source to really throw the ball with his legs and use that energy, and he's gotten so much better at that.
First and 10, looking into the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, King.
You know, power pitchers throw 90 miles an hour with their legs. The great power pitchers. And look at Murray finish on this throw. The delivery, the strength. It is the conviction of knowing where to go, but he is so much better fundamentally driving that football. That's a skinny post thrown on the dot.
The extra point caroms off of the upright and through the uprights. Good. And Georgia leads it 20-0. Aaron Murray out of Tampa, Florida, putting up some impressive numbers. Tavares King, they call him Grandpa. 5th-year senior with the score. Back with more right after this. Jordan Rodgers. Rodgers to pass. Delivers a strike for the first down at about the 38-yard line. Nice catch by Jordan Matthews, who last year had a touchdown in this game against Georgia off a halfback option. Empty formation, 4 receivers. Look at 5 on this play. Fumble. And Rodgers falls on it. They implode again back at the 37-yard line. 20-0. The Bulldogs leading the Commodores. 10:36 to go in the first half. Jarvis Jones, folks. What a game already tonight. His life indelibly changing. Halloween in 2009. Playing for USC his freshman year against Oregon. He injured his neck on this play trying to make the tackle. Now, although he walked off the field after this play, there's number 51. It was a long road to return to the field, and that's tonight's FaceTime profile brought to you by Edward Jones. He transferred, released from his scholarship from USC after being diagnosed with a back condition, a spinal condition, and then transferred to Georgia and has started all 14 games. First team All-American last year and number 1 on Mel Kiper's big board right now.
Coach Bobo said, the offensive coordinator, he's always been an incredibly positive guy, but this year he's adding the element of that field general, being able to get in command and get in guys' faces when need be.
Murray wide open over the middle, complete to Marlon Brown. And let's go to Maria for more on the newfound leadership of Aaron Murray. Just don't mention his height, 6'1", but tall enough to complete another pass. Still perfect as we go back to Wendy Nix in the studio.
Florida State on ABC.
All right, Wendy, this is Malcolm. Another one of those talented backs. And Ken Malcolm rumbles deep in Vandy territory. He picks up 29. Donnell Thomas for Vanderbilt said, hey, we see this game as unfinished business. We're going to come out with high intensity, high expectations, and no fear, but they've shown none of the above so far. Murray, touchdown, Georgia. The Bulldogs rhythmically, methodically march down the field on James Franklin's defense and makes it 26-0.
That's a sinking feeling as a head coach when someone rams it 95 yards right down your throat, executing flawlessly in the passing game, and then just dominating at the point of attack.
The extra point makes it 27-0. Hey, folks, Georgia has scored touchdowns on its first 4 possessions. Aaron Murray right now, the picture of efficiency, a perfect 11 of 11 for 111 yards. He's coming with some heat. Rodgers has a lot of time and nobody open. Brought down after a gain of 1 on the play, but it's 4th down and long coming up. Right now leading 27-0, first down and 10. Murray with the play fake. And still perfect. Wooten. Rantavius Wooten out to the 38, and partner, you're shaking your head.
It's just surgical, and it starts with his vision.
With the calls. Murray going up top, taking a shot. And incomplete. Rantavius Wooten was right there, but just a little bit long.
It's hard to point a big finger at him.
Second and short. He completes the pass to Boyd, and Boyd with a first down into Georgia territory at the 46. Rodgers given time, delivers to Boyd again, complete. And deep into Georgia territory at the 13-yard line. 3 timeouts remaining, 1:10 to go in the half. Out of the backfield, Zach Stacy with nowhere to go. They'll lose a few yards back to the 13. Sean Williams there to make the stop on the play.
And now I think you got to let that clock run, take your timeout, and kick your field goal.
29 yards out. Harry Spear puts Vanderbilt on the board. With 20 seconds to go, James Franklin's team finally scores.
Pretty just a dominating effort for Georgia.
Yeah, pretty good first half for the Bulldogs, especially Aaron Murray. Hit his first 12 passes for a total of 137 yards. They dominated that first half, 27-3. Right now, let's join Wendy Nix, Todd McShay, and Robert Smith back in the studio for the Outback halftime. Let's see how Murray starts this second half of play. He connected on his first 12 passes to begin the game. He tosses it to Gurley. Great cutback for a first down. Finally tripped up at the 47-yard line. Got a nice block. On 3rd and 7, they bring some heat. It's tipped and almost picked up. Boy, in this kind of situation, Trey Wilson has to make that interception. He had one last week against Presbyterian and returned it 100 yards for the touchdown. Rodgers with nowhere to go, tiptoes out of bounds, and hit by who else? Number 29, Jarvis Jones. A pickup of 3. 27-3, second offensive series of the half. And Murray hands it off to his strapping tailback. Todd Gurley all the way out near midfield, gets the first down at the 47-yard line. Now Keith Marshall in the backfield. The other half of that thunder and lightning connection. Here's the reverse, Mitchell. Mitchell on the move, got a nice block. And pushed out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. Marlon Brown, one of those wide receivers, blocking well downfield in a pickup of 16.
Wouldn't surprise me down the road if that's their goal.
Murray completes the pass to Gurley out of the backfield. Got some real estate ahead of him. Gurley brought down at the 22. Another Bulldog first down. They get to 23. This backfield in pretty good shape right now. Murray delivers another strike. Down to about the 5. Chris Conley. And Murray gets up a little slow, holding that right hand. 10th play of the drive, 3rd and goal. Touchdown Bulldogs. Brown.
He wanted to go to the tight end. He looked that way, sees it, doesn't have it, and comes right back. And there's the difference with arm strength. He doesn't make that throw 2 years ago with that kind of velocity.
The extra point good, and Mark Rich said that his next area of development with Murray is going to be being able to grasp and make a big play when it counts most. On 3rd and goal, makes the pass for the touchdown to Brown. That's Stacy, the deep back. Rodgers given time up top and caught by Matthews. He got in behind Malcolm Mitchell, and Jordan Matthews with the longest play of the game so far for Vanderbilt.
Better than your athletes at Vanderbilt.
Rodgers has his man, but missed him. Incomplete, intended for Chris Boyd. Is this the type of scenario where you go for it here on 4th down 34-3?
I think it is now midway through the 3rd quarter. It's one thing going into halftime to feel good about yourself. It's another thing here with just 22 minutes to play, down 31. You're going to have to beat one-on-one coverage, and you're going to have to block up that pocket.
6 of 11 on the season on 4th down conversions. Backside pressure. Jones comes calling. Jarvis Jones shows you why he's an All-American. And number 1 on Mel Kiper's NFL Big Board. Brown in motion. Brown again. Weaving his way. 1st and goal. Trey Wilson saved the touchdown.
You want to put a scare into Tennessee next week, South Carolina in a couple weeks. When you blitz, and as an offense, you can make them pay for that blitz. Oh, that scares defensive coordinators. Just tearing apart this Vanderbilt blitz tonight.
All those explosive plays by Georgia. Straight ahead again. Marshall into the end zone. Touchdown.
Oh, and I love the big fella, Burnett. And those guards have been active all night. Brown has the critical play down the field. Nothing more demoralizing to a defense than when you line up in base and you get run on, when you blitz and you get gashed. There's just nothing that the Vanderbilt defense can do right now against a red-hot Georgia offense.
The second touchdown of the night for Keith Marshall. Former track star and a fast track right now. 41-3. But he recovers and gets well soon. Zach Stacy still on his feet. And a spirited run by Stacy out to the 30-yard line. Got about 15.
And then when you leave him one-on-one, he punishes.
Rogers over the middle. Caught by Matthews. And Matthews still up into Georgia territory near the 35-yard line.
You got to think of it as a redshirt senior.
Zach Stacy following his blocks. Picks up the first down, a gain of 12.
But if James Franklin is going to preach, we're a different Vanderbilt, we're a different team, I've got this edge, we're creating a different culture, then these final 20 minutes are critical.
Third down, they're 1 of 9 on third downs. Caught and just enough for the first down. So Rogers keeps the sticks moving. Wesley Tate dotting the I on the toss. Brought down at about the 15-yard line. It'll be fourth down. Pardon me, no gain coming up. Sanders Cummings making the stop. Interesting, you mentioned Vanderbilt and trying to be competitive, trying to create that culture. We have a Georgia player down in the field. Coach Franklin's team has been ahead going into the fourth quarter of every game so far this year.
Yeah, that's what you got to remember on a night where they're getting spanked. Is that this is a team that had South Carolina on the ropes week 1 and lose 17-13. They go up to Northwestern and lose in the final minutes to Northwestern 24-13. That's been so competitive in all these SEC games, and that's a tough loss. That's a big boy. That's Avery Jones, 6'3" and 308. One of those big ends in this 3-4 that does a nice job of keeping Jarvis Jones clean. But this is a different challenge, to your point. They've been competitive. He wanted to get over the hump. You know, I asked him, when I look at Vanderbilt, to me, and what he's trying to do, it's what Jim Harbaugh did at Stanford, where you've got to change a culture and identity. You got to become bigger and faster and stronger and tougher, and especially on that offensive line. But Jim Harbaugh had those big wins. He won at USC. He got over the hump. And these are the ones you got to avoid, where you just get manhandled like this on the road. Those close competitive games where you can preach getting over the hump, that's one thing. To come in here and get physically manhandled, it's another.
Second and 10. Rogers trying to make a play. Completes it at the 10-yard line. So who else but Jordan Matthews? On the option. Tate with nowhere to go. And Georgia runs him down. Sean Williams pushes him out of bounds short of the first down. Flag down on the play, a loss of 3 as well.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the offense. Number 24, 15 yards from the end of the run. It'll be fourth down.
Boy, you get brought down for a loss and the dubious distinction of the personal foul. Field goal attempt from Kerry Spear coming from 46 yards out. His career long is 44. Looks like he's got enough leg, but pushes it to the left. I'll tell you a little story about what effect it's had on the world champion Miami Heat. That's right. After this play. This is Gurley putting the heat on that defense, and another first down into Vanderbilt territory. Yeah, Chip Kelly is impressed the Miami Heat coaching staff so much that Eric Spoelstra, the head coach of the Heat, went out there last year and spent a few days with Chip Kelly and just talked about the concepts of speed, positionless basketball, spreading out the defense, and took some of those concepts back, and it turned into a championship year for LeBron James and Dwayne Wade.
So when analysts say they play basketball on grass,
there's some credence to that. Again, coming up 10:30 over on ESPN. Pass complete at the 30-yard line to Marlon Brown, who is catching everything thrown his way tonight. That time he picks up 20.
It's one like in Michigan with a tight end and fullback and having to recruit out of a lot of that pro style.
Gurley, touchdown.
Speaking of pro style and a fullback and a tight end, and let me just run it right down your throat.
He broke 2 tackles or more on the way to the end zone. Extra point good, 48-3, the second touchdown of the night by Todd Gurley.
A week ago, we had Texas that just wore down Ole Miss, and we didn't give the credit to the offensive line early enough. Watch the big boy here. Watch Chris Burnett, the redshirt junior at 322 pounds. It's been he and Dallas Lee all evening long. They get in the push on the offside. You're bringing your guard around.
I'll tell you what.
That's a big man right there.
Those pants are full.
I'm going to say north of 322. And a lot of credit goes to that offensive line. I ran into a number of Georgia fans on campus today. And to me, that's the one difference between LSU and especially Alabama and Georgia. Receivers, quarterback, talent defensively. But it's up front, that's off, the offensive line, and can they grow and develop? And they're putting on a show tonight.
Here's Kimbrough. Nice return by Kimbrough. Out to the 47-yard line.
Just because we're talented and we're gifted doesn't mean that we can't bring that same swagger and that same edge to the way we play as well.
Lacey. Zach Stacy, pardon me, with a first down. Night baseball presented by Taco Bell. Dodgers Reds 8 on ESPN. And the Commodore Stacy in a whole lot of trouble. Jarvis Jones again.
It's interesting because on film, Vanderbilt likes to do a lot of misdirection. They like to do a lot of the counters and the end arounds, but they've simply looked at the defense tonight in Georgia. With their speed and their athleticism, nothing in their playbooks is working.
Jones likes to listen to Tupac on his iPod. And as the late rapper once rapped and sang, all eyes on me. End of the third. This one, 3rd and 15. Little screen pass, incomplete. Intended for Quintero. Boy, when you think about the promise that Razorback team had at the beginning of the year. That pass complete. Brett McGowan making the catch on the play, a 16-yard pickup. You go back to the Bobby Petrino controversy and his subsequent firing, termination. Program never really seemed to recover after that.
There's a couple people happy out there, and those are agents of coaches that can point to the New Orleans situation without their head coach and Sean Payton and look at some of the dysfunction they've had. And in Fayetteville, just the worst nightmare for Jeff Long, the athletic director, is that dysfunction of the offseason has really, really taken a toll into the regular season.
On the basketball court, on the volleyball court. Pass tipped and incomplete. Let's go down to Maria. Maria, what's up? Time. 1st and 10. Rodgers up top has a man. Boyd. And they finally hit a big one all the way down to about the 3. Chris Boyd, a 60-yard catch and run. Accountability takes on many different shapes and forms. Here's one.
Our team, our time, no regrets. Hey, sophomore, get your hiney on the field. They had to burn a timeout. That's your senior.
Cornelius Washington.
Exactly right, making a statement to the young sophomore. Don't mess around, and a lot of starters still in this game for Georgia defensively.
on 1st and goal. Rogers tries to do it himself. Did he get the pylon? Yes, touchdown Vanderbilt. Jordan Rogers with his first rushing touchdown of the season and the 5th of his career. And Todd Grantham, the defensive coordinator, not too happy about that. Great effort.
Ooh, and I think that ball just barely crosses the pylon before he fumbles.
It's like they're going to have another look at this.
After review, the ruling is that the ball carrier lost control of the ball prior to crossing the goal line. There was a fumble that went into the end zone and out of the end zone. The result of the play is a touchback. Georgia's football, 1st and 10 from the 20.
Been that type of night for the Commodores.
If Vandy's going to find a way to get back to a bowl game, which is, I think, the most realistic goal, to find a way to get to 6 wins, they've got to score touchdowns. They lack a lot of the explosive playmakers down the field. 4 of 12 in the red zone coming into tonight.
2nd down and 10. They have had a great night running the ball right on this play. A yawning hole for number 22, Samuel. And what exactly is happening up on the offensive line to allow this kind of success?
Well, that run was downhill, but for a lot of the evening, it's been the pulling guards, those big offensive linemen. It's Dallas Lee, 64, getting in front of Gurley, getting in front of Marshall. And you just get a hat on a hat and look at the big fellas in the middle, mow them down on the goal line. There is nothing better than that. Those offensive linemen love it. Go ahead, give Murray all the praise. Talk about these freshman running backs, our explosive receivers. Those big fellas in the trenches. Remember, Will Muschamp said to us, week 1, this SEC is won at the line of scrimmage. It is a line of scrimmage league. And this group tonight for the Bulldogs offensively dominant.
Yeah, they've had their way with those Vandy guys up front. And Mark Richt and Bakari Rambo, who didn't play tonight, will be eligible.
He should be back
That
next
is the
week.
speculation next week.
Nothing better as a team than living up to expectations. The crowd came in here expecting to see a top 5 team in America, and they delivered. The quarterback was a stud, and you physically imposed your will and dominated an opponent that was awfully scrappy a year ago, but not close tonight.
Last year, there was a confrontation at the end of the game. This year, no such extracurricular activities. The final score, 48-3. Georgia convincingly improving to 4-0 on the season. Folks, coming up next, Sports Center. Check in on a wild college football Saturday. Lots of great stories. Good night, everybody, from Athens.